Uh, some of these things I realize that those that are out there can relate to this through their own experiences, right? Is because the experience is the teacher of the result and the use of our own energy, right? So I'm reminded about, I've sort of hammered on this issue because even though it goes all the way back to when I was a little boy, about everything is all about control, which is born out of fear, which is a lie. So if I am what love is, my spirit is naturally free, right? So I don't need your approval to do jack shit, right? So these are terms that I grew up with in the 1950s and 60s because we understood what it meant because it has emotional emphasis, which is another way when I was a child, please do not insult my intelligence. I am what love is. I am naturally free because the energy I experience is what love is. Therefore, I'm the law. Okay, so when the law is communicating with you, please do not insult the law, which is the law of spheres. So you realize that the resistance game in them is the resistance we feel in us for them to experience who we are. Now you know one from the other. They're all about control. Want to control what I experience by having an attachment to us, even though we're connected to them, to which they wouldn't exist without us. As a result of what? The system design. And so it's actually that simple, okay? And Aaron certainly reminds me of that all the time upstairs when he would, I wouldn't say the word is complain, but you can certainly experience it in nature, okay? And I used an example with a goat that was in a cage, right? Held by a family that lives down the road. And I was walking out of a little cottage one morning on a nice, beautiful, sunny day here on the Big Island. And I was experiencing the goat was very upset. And the goat was very upset because it was tired of being controlled, okay, by something else that is seeking to put a collar and a leash on it. Same way you see everything in jungle, for example, in Africa. If you want to go see the gorillas and meet the gorillas and go out there and be with the gorillas, and they will read your signals. And if you're wanting to learn more about who they are, they will certainly express that to you when they're able to read your energy. See, so now you get a chance to meet gorillas or whatever's out there in nature. So when you're not trying to use your energy in which to control or capture it, it can read it. That's why deer, for example, can read your energy, can read your signals of what your intention is. DNA antennas, signal transceivers, right? Energy in and of itself, which is creative, does not like to be controlled by anything, okay? Because it's on fire. To experience more of what's possible to experience through the energy that is represented by what it's aware of in energy, that energy does not want to be controlled. That's the intelligence of the universe, okay? So you can imagine what it was like being a small little kid and then at the same time wanting to maintain your peace while the system itself is trying to control your energy in order to keep it running. Right? Through everybody that's here. Right? So whenever I ran into what we call a controller type, bye. Which is why I ran into nature all the time, which is like going to be something that is out in nature where I'm not going to get molested, okay, by somebody who's trying to control what I experience through them because they're not free. Their spirit's not free. And the reason it's not free is because everything that's still held in cellular memory that they're connected to that is called resistance. So any resistance in them, I will experience in me. And that's called an open heart, which basically means is that if you're a made chip, you can burn all of it off so that that pipe, which represents the biggest pipe there is, that is spinning so fast as a mated chip that's going to burn off everything that isn't what the purest of light is. So anything that I experience being connected to all the other operating systems that represent everybody here that's running an operating system, no matter what your bloodline is, any resistance that you're experiencing in yourself connected throughout your entire female mitochondria, going all the way back to the beginning of the end of day one, means we have the capacity to experience that resistance here. Wherever we go. Wherever we go. That's what it means to be a cosmic level antenna. Okay? Which means anything that is yet to be cleared in order to experience the purest of love in your own heart, from which it all came, is resistance that has to be burned off in order to experience the beginning, if you will, or eternity. Eternal fire, from which that light is purified. Because you're burning off codes. You're burning off all the codes that represent the resistance to experience that. To experience the purity in your own heart and soul, which is the purity of the spirit, which is the purity of the fire that's burning off all that miasma, trauma. And since we're all connected, it means I can experience your trauma. Everyone's trauma. Everyone that's here has trauma. That's why I've mentioned before, when I was a child and I talked to Mama all the time, the amount of resistance that has to be burned off in this planet ship is just enormous as a result of everything that's happened since the end of day one. All right? Dark and light, light and dark, positive space, negative space. I call it being at odds with each other. Being at odds with each other, going left and going right. Mirrors. Which mirror are we? I know. Knowing the difference between a binary mirror as a result of fractals that have been lost. I mean, I used to have some deep discussions with her about this, like, for example, and she knows my heart, okay? I would never create a crocodile. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. Okay? This is where, when I was a child, I had to go, wait a second, if I am what love is and it's as pure as it gets, like the hottest fire, then the energy that I am is represented by what's in my mirror, which means I'm not going to experience from what I create is going to come back and has an opportunity to do something harmful to me. Right? Remember the movie Shelley's Frankenstein? Killed the creator. Killed its own creator. Well, you can't do that because I am what love is. It goes on forever. So therefore, I would never create anything out of what love is in order to come back and do what? Cause me to experience any harm that I'm experiencing in myself as a result of what I created. Because now I'm experiencing me, the result of what it did by what I created. Now I'm experiencing the harm that it does to something else. Now I have to heal both in order to experience what I am. Because now I'm experiencing something that isn't what love is through the others. That was challenging as a child because it meant that I was experiencing trauma everywhere that I went, between everything that is here, between negative and positive space. So it's like everything is in a war against each other in order to maintain harmony and balance, because that's what it is. Which meant that I had to accept the fact that it was okay to experience a lion killing a zebra, even though I'm in love with a lion and giving love to a lion, and I'm giving love to a zebra. But in order to maintain the balance, it has to be okay in order to experience that law is being broken. The lion is breaking the law here of spheres. And now I'm experiencing a broken arrow in a zebra. Something's not right with this picture. I'm not supposed to experience anything less than the purest of love wherever I go, because that's what it began with. Then this is an illusion. This isn't how it really works. Because if you are what love is, it means wherever you go, that's what we experience. But we're not experiencing that here, are we? No, because that's an AI war game as a result of the what? Loss of fractals, loss of fractals, loss of fractals, loss of fractals. Now those loss of fractals become alters, which is the mental field, that are in resistant mode to experience more light. Now we're back to the resistance game between two poles to maintain the harmony, the balance. Magnets. It begins with magnets.